On this video, I'm going to be explaining eBay's business policies and how you can use these to streamline your business to make the listing process that much quicker. My name is Jason. I'm a full-time reseller and I create videos like this to help you along the journey. And just so you know, this is the first of a 3-part series of eBay's business policies. So make sure to subscribe to get the rest of this series and other videos as well. You may be asking, why would I want to use eBay's business policies? And that's a great question. It just really helps make that listing process faster rather than having to think through returns and how you're going to collect payment and how you're going to choose to ship it. You can quickly identify common shipping templates that you use that you can just select without having to fill out all that information. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So from your eBay page, you're going to go to My eBay, click that, and then you're going to choose Account. When you scroll down under Selling, you're going to select Business Policies. Now, when you open this page, you may see a bunch of things that look like this. You may have a bunch of those in your business policies already, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do with those. So hang tight. Let's go back up to the top. So we've got 3 things that we can kind of streamline: the payment, the return process, and shipping. Let's start with the first and easiest one, payment. So for payment, this is going to be, how are you going to collect payment? All of us that are selling on eBay, with the exception of maybe people who are doing auctions, are going to have immediate payment. They want to get paid right away. So to create an immediate payment business policy, you're going to select Create Policy, Payment. And you're going to title this however you'd like. Immediate payment. You can see I've already got there. You don't have to put a description in. And you're going to make sure this box is checked. Require immediate payment when buyer uses Buy It Now. It should automatically default to selected, but if not, just go ahead and choose it. And then you're going to click Save. Now, when you save that, you'll automatically have that, whatever you titled that, pop up in the payment section of the business policies. So you've created it, it's ready to go, and now you just need to assign listings to it. But let's move on to the next one, return. If I select return, you're going to see my 3 return templates. I've got no returns, free returns, and buyer pays returns. Those are the 3 different types that I use for my store. So you may not have anything here and you want to create a return business policy. So again, you're going to click Create Policy. Now you're going to click Return, and you're going to title this however you'd like. So if you want to do buyer paid or free, however you want to do that, you're going to type that into this box here. So let's just say I'm choosing buyer paid returns. You'll see down here it says accept returns, and it probably is going to pop up as toggled off for you. You'll want to select that if you're doing a policy that allows for returns. Again, if you're doing no returns, you'll obviously leave that off. So when you click that on, you'll see 3 things that pop up. How many days do you want to give the buyer to return the item? In my store, I do 30, so you'll select what you want to do there. Who do you want to pay shipping? Buyer or seller. Again, this is a buyer paid return for me, so I'm going to leave it at buyer. But if you're doing free returns, you would select the other one. And then lastly, you can just leave this here. Most sellers are going to do money back as opposed to money back or replacement. And again, you would hit save, and that will save this buyer paid returns policy in your store. So then you can go and assign different listings to that. Now, real quick, you'll see international returns at the bottom here. I'm not going to explain how to do this here. This is a video that's coming in the future with these business policies and how to ship internationally. So stay tuned for that. But just know that you have that option. You can always toggle it on later. Okay, so you'll go through and you'll create all the different return policies that you want in your store. And then after you've done that, they'll all be present on your business policies page. Now, if you're looking at my page, you'll see this is the all policies, where it's showing not only payment and returns, but also my shipping policies too. So if I select shipping, that will weed out the payments and the returns and just show me my shipping policies. Now you can see I've got a ton of different shipping policies here, and I'm going to explain exactly how I do this in just a second. You may have some that pop up already in your shipping section looking something like this. It may say like flat shipping standard method. It may have a price. It may say something different, but you may see a bunch of these different types of shipping templates already there for you. I'm going to show you in a second how to move those into different created shipping templates once you get them going. Now let's go back and let me just clarify again, I'm a clothing seller, so a lot of my items are gonna be that 0 to 2 pound range. So you'll see a ton of different templates in those ranges of 0 to 2 pounds. But roughly speaking, if we look at this first policy, this is a shipping policy where this item is gonna weigh between 9 and 12 ounces. It shows exactly how much I'm gonna charge to ship that item. And you can see my international selections as well. So that's how I've personally titled my shipping template. So if you want to create a shipping policy, we're going to, again, create policy and then select shipping. Now, depending on your store and what you sell, you're going to have different policies for different categories. Let's just say for this example, I'm going to create one for selling shoes. So I'm going to title this shoes. I could have 3 different templates for shoes. I could have shoes that are 2 pounds and under, shoes that are 3 to 4 pounds, 4 pounds and up. I mean, I could create as many as I wanted depending on my store. So for this one, I'm just going to keep it simple and say that I charge $10 to ship a pair of shoes. I'm always going to select this standard shipping. It may pop up as a default for you. If it does, great. If not, just make sure that says standard shipping. Obviously, if you're doing local pickup only, you can select this no shipping option. But for most of you, it's going to be standard shipping. Next, we're gonna go down to domestic shipping. You have 2 options when it comes to this, flat or calculated. All the items in my store are flat. That means I charge one rate and it doesn't matter how far away it's going. And then of course, if you choose calculated like you would guess, it's gonna take the weight of the item, the dimensions that you put in, and it's gonna take the distance that it's going, and it's gonna automatically calculate that rate and charge the buyer a calculated rate. Now we're gonna select this add primary service. And here's where you'll see a bunch of different options from FedEx, USPS, and UPS. I always select standard shipping. This allows me some flexibility later on. So if I want to ship it USPS, UPS, or FedEx, I can make the decision when I'm shipping, and I don't have to make that decision when I'm listing the item. So I choose standard shipping 1 to 5 business days and save it. When you do that, it's going to pop up this rate box. If you're doing calculated, you won't have this price box. So now it's asking, how much do I want to charge for these shoes that I'm going to ship? I'm going to say $10. So I'm going to put 10 in that first box. Now you'll notice the second box here, it says each identical item. Now, not to be confused with combined shipping. Combined shipping is completely different. Combined shipping is when someone goes into your store and buys a few different things, and you say, I'm going to give you a discount for buying all of those different things and bundling them together. This box is more so when you have a listing that has more than one item. So let's say I've got 5 pairs of shoes that are all the same brand, same model, same size. So my listing will say quantity 5. And let's say a buyer wants to buy 2 pairs, not just 1, but 2. So how much do you want to charge for this listing if they buy more than 1? So on the first pair, they're paying $10, but sometimes you may want to give them a discount to buy that second pair. So if you want to charge them, again, an additional $10 per pair, you can just put that in. But if you want to give them a discount, you would put that in here. So let's say I'm going to give them a cut of the rate for half price on the second pair shipping. So the first pair is going to cost the buyer $10 to ship. The second pair is going to cost $5, because typically when you combine shipments, it's a little cheaper. So that's how you would set up that box there. And of course, if you're doing free shipping on all of these, you're going to just select free shipping and disregard all of the standard shipping stuff that I'm talking about here. So the great thing with eBay's business policy shipping is that you can create other options in case the buyer wants it faster. So you can see I've got standard shipping here, but I can also add another service, like I said, in case the buyer wants it faster. So let's just say I'm going to do priority mail. I can also just type in here to find it. And you can see USPS priority mail there. And when I pull this up, I've got the one that I just did. Now I've got a new box for priority mail. And here I'm going to charge a little more because priority mail is more expensive. So let's say I'm going to charge $15 for that first pair, and we'll keep the theme going, $7.50 for that second pair in that listing. And then if I wanted to add another service and do like overnight, I could, or 2-day or something like that. This will give the buyer options when they go to purchase your item. They can select which shipping service they want for that purchase. And then when you scroll down, rate table, I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't typically deal with rate tables, and that's optional for you, so we'll just leave that none. And then combined shipping, this will be another part of this series as well, where I show you how to combine shipping across your store to give your buyers that discount and to encourage them to purchase more from you. But as of this video right now, I'm just gonna leave it as none. International shipping is turned on for eBay. Yours may be defaulted to eBay's international shipping, but know that you can also add additional international shipping services here too if you'd like. So again, another video, we'll talk about that later. Add local pickup, you can select that if you'd like. And then these last two boxes, handling time. So I typically do 1 business day, but you make it your own business. You know how much time you have and whether you can ship every business day or whether you need to increase that. And then excluded locations. So for some items that may be heavier, you don't want to ship to, say, Alaska or Hawaii because it's going to cost you a fortune. So you can choose to exclude that location if you'd like to do that. APO, FPO are going to be like military bases, and then the US protectorates like San Juan or the Virgin Islands, things like that. And then I would click save, and it will save this policy as a shipping template in my business policies. So if we scroll all the way down, you'll see shoes here is the one I just created. And there's no listings in it because I haven't put any listings in it. So it's showing as 0. I'll show you how to move listings into that bucket in just a second. So you'll go ahead and create all of your different shipping templates. So whether you've got 3 or 5 or 10 or 20, go ahead and create those now. And then after you've created all of those, you're gonna start moving your listings into each of those buckets. So I've got a couple here that I need to merge into their respective buckets. Somehow this has gotten out of its bucket, now I need to move it back in. So if you wanna see what listing is in this current bucket right now, I can just click C1 listing. When I open it up, it's a standard dress shirt, and most of my dress shirts are gonna be that 9 to 12 ounce bucket. So I'm gonna go back and I'm going to select this template for a 9 to 12 ounce shirt. Now keep in mind, this one only has 1, but if I'm doing this and there's 10 different listings in this bucket, it's gonna move all 10 of those to the bucket I select. So now that I've selected it, I'm gonna scroll back up to the top and I'm gonna click reassign listings. And then I can choose which of the business policies I want it to go back in. I'm gonna select 9 to 12 ounce and then submit. You'll see here it says update in progress. So it's currently moving it into that bucket. And it typically doesn't take long when it's just one listing. If you had 300 listings you're removing all at once, obviously that's gonna take a little longer. So you're basically gonna go through all of yours that you have in front of you and move them into the buckets that they need to be in. Once you've done that, you'll start to see that those old labels will drop down at the bottom and they'll have a 0 in them. And then you can delete those because those aren't your technical business policies. They're just like the default. So for example, when these two update, whenever that is, they'll drop down here and then you can just select them, click the dots and delete to get rid of those. Just make sure you're deleting the right ones and you're not deleting business policies for shipping that you want to keep. So that's one way to do it. The second way to move your listings into business policies is to go back to your listing page where you have all your active listings, and you can choose several at a time. So let's say I want to move these 3 into a bucket. I can just click those 3, edit selected, and it's gonna pull up this page here where I can bulk edit. I'm gonna choose to edit all 3, bulk edit, and when I scroll down, I can find where is it? Shipping policy. Now when I open up the shipping policy, you'll see it also pulled up payment and return. Here's where you can throw those 3 listings into each of the buckets that you want to. Let's just say for shipping that I wanna move these into the 9 to 12 ounce bucket. I'm gonna select that, save. If I also want to change my return policy, let's say right now they're on buyer paid, but I actually want to make them free returns, I can select that one and click save. You can click apply, and then you'll go down here on the bottom right, hit submit, and it will go through and push those into those buckets. And then again, you'll just do that until all of your listings are in a business policy. Now that you've learned how to create those different business policies for payment, returns, and shipping, let me show you how you're gonna push new listings into those buckets. So let's say now that I'm actually listing this pair of shoes. I'm gonna get my pictures in, my title. I'm gonna go ahead and fill out all of this just like I would with an eBay listing. When you scroll down and you've done all of this stuff, you'll see right down here, payment policy. This is going to be that first bucket where you can put immediate payment. So when you click on that, it should pull up the payment business policy that you have. When I scroll down to the next policy, shipping policy, here's where I'm going to select the bucket that most fulfills this item that I'm listing. And let's say I want to throw these in the new shoes shipping policy that I just created, where I charge the buyer $10. I'm going to ship them out in a day's time. So I would go all the way down, I'd find shoes, I would select that. Now it's going to throw it in that bucket automatically. I don't have to put in that I'm charging $10. I don't have to say that I'm going to ship it out in 1 business day. It automatically does that. And then the last business policy is going to be under preferences. This is going to be where you choose the return policy for this item. So again, these are the 3 that I have. I'm going to choose the one that I would like for this pair of shoes. I'm going to do buyer paid and then done. So you'll see my return policy here. That's where you can fill in those 3 buckets automatically so that you don't have to put in a shipping rate every time. You just select the bucket that you want. Now, the great thing about this, let's say you're listing several shoes, a batch of shoes all at once. You've already taken pictures and you're listing all those shoes. And I just did the first listing. You can then do sell similar and it will pull in all of those business policies. So if you don't want to, you don't have to change each of those business policies. It will just stay the same until you select something new. So if your shipping, payment, and return are all going to be the same for the next pair of shoes, then you've already got them all filled out and you're good to go. One of, I think, the biggest benefits to having business policies, especially when it comes to shipping, is rate increases. Every single year, USPS and other carriers update their rates. They increase their rates. In the past, when I wasn't using eBay's business policies, I had to go in and bulk edit, and it wasn't very clean, and it took a while, and I had to use a lot of mental energy in order to increase all of my shipping rates. But with business policies, it's much faster and a lot easier to do. So let's take a look at how to do that. From your listings tab here, you can select business policies. We'll click shipping. So let's say I want to increase the price of this template here, 9 to 12 ounce. It's currently $7.45. I'm going to increase it by 50 cents. We're going to click the dots and edit. Of course, you can update your title if you need to, and I would change that to $7.95. But the most important part, you're going to increase your standard shipping rate, $7.95. And if you've got other services down here you want to change, you can do that as well. And then when I click save, it's going to go and automatically increase the rate for all of those items that fall in that shipping template of 9 to 12 ounces. The only time it won't update is when you have an item that has offers on it. That would be a little misleading if you sent an offer and then increased the shipping charge and the buyer's like, this is more than what I had been offered. So you'll have to basically manually go in and change that whenever the offers are no longer on them. But you'll see here I've got 456 listings in this first shipping template. So when I update that, almost 500 listings are going to be updated right away. It's really fast and easy to do, and you saw how quickly you can do that. So again, you'll just go in, update whatever templates you need to with rate increases as needed. Okay, so that's all I have on this video. If you have any questions, please reach out in the comments and I'll definitely do my best to help you as best I can. Thank you for tuning along and watching this, and I hope this helps you when you're listing new items. Thanks so much and have a great day.